Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League 2024. We are at game number 22. The last game played was Miami and the Dodgers, and it was the Dodgers taking care of Miami as expected and dropping Miami to 0-5. So now we have our next game. It's the Chicago White Sox taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's from Toronto. And I don't have the lineup filled in yet because we got to do the rest rolls. I do have them filled out on the computer. So if nobody has to rest, I'm ready to go. I can just copy it from the computer straight to the score sheet. If somebody has to rest, I can manipulate the computer and then I can set the score sheet together. All right, so we are going to look at see who needs to rest, what positions need to rest. I usually start with the visiting team, the Chicago White Sox. We roll 1d6, check it against the rest rating. That's a 6. So it's center fielder, catcher, and third base. All right, so last game, center fielder was Bellinger, catcher was Amaya, and what the other one was third base was Madrigal. Well, Madrigal definitely is going to have to rest. I did not have him in the starting lineup, nor did I have Amaya, so I have both of those guys resting. Bellinger is the only one I have in the starting lineup that I would like to keep there. So let's see if he can stay in the game. Bellinger has 561 plate appearances. 561. So 561 is a 1-3. So as long as we don't roll a 1-3, then he can stay in the game. All right, so nobody needs to be rested, or the two that need to be rested are Amaya and Madrigal, but I wasn't going to play them anyway. So in theory, nobody from the Cubs had to rest. So I can use the regular Cubs lineup that I have already in the computer figured out. Hello, Midlife. Now we go to the Blue Jays and check out what positions they will have for rest purposes. And they roll a 6 also. Same thing, center field, catcher, and third baseman. Well, I'm already going to use the backup catcher, Jansen. I'd already had that in the lineup, so I'm not going to worry about needing Kirk to rest. It goes then to center field and third base. So center fielder was going to be Dalton Varsho. And Varsho has 459 and 48. That's 507. So we come over here to 507. That's a 1-8. So if we roll a 1-8, that means Varsho has to rest. It's a 9. He barely makes it. So Varsho will be able to stay in the game. And then lastly, it is third baseman. And the third baseman is Clement. And I did not have him starting lineup either. So we're good to go for Toronto. So we can go ahead and put in the lineups without any worry about resting players. Hello, Cosmo. So bear with me while I do that really quickly. We're going to start with the Chicago lineup. And starting out will be the designated hitter, Michael Tauchman. Trying different guys at the leadoff spot to see if any of them, because some of these batting averages and on-base percentages are not good. Runs at a 13. Nico Horner, second baseman, will bat second. He is a 1E10, running at a 16. Hitting third will be Cody Bellinger, since he did not need to rest. We will have Bellinger in center field. And he is a 2-2 E4. And he runs at a 15. Seiya Suzuki, the right fielder, is going to bat cleanup. And he is a 4-2 E7. Running at a 13. Batting fifth will be the first baseman, Michael Bush. Runs at a 12, and he is a 3E5. Dansby Swanson at shortstop hits sixth. He is a 1E6 with a 15. I've gotten mixed reviews on the Strat-O-Matic basic game I played. That was just meant to be like a one-time thing to give something to people that play basic all the time. I mean, I may or may not do that again. If I do, it'll be a while back, but hopefully for people who like super advanced, it wasn't too boring. All right, here's Ian Happ, the left fielder. And he is a 2 -2 E1 with a 14. Catcher is Jean Gomes, because Amaya caught the previous game and he had to rest, so Gomes was already predetermined to be in the lineup anyway. That's the way I was going to play it regardless, so worked out that way anyway. 3 + 1 E1 and an 8. And last but not least is Miles Mastroboni. He is at third base, and he is a 3 E29 with a 14. All right, so now Jameson Taillon is the starter for the Cubs. He has a 0 hold rating. Gomes is a +1, so Taillon will be a +1 on the hold. His injury check is a 612. All right, Jose Berrios will be on the mound for the Blue Jays. His injury is a 0. He cannot be injured. So now I'm going to put their lineup in since nobody had to rest that I planned to play. So I'm going to put Cavian Biggio in the leadoff spot. Springer's been doing poorly, so I'm going to mix it up. See if I can get Cavian Biggio going. He's going to be at second base, 3 E14 and a 14. Dalton Varsho is going to be in center field, and he's a 1 -3 E3 with a 15. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at first base, runs at a 10. He is a 3 E14. Batting cleanup is the third baseman, Justin Turner. Usually I play him at DH, but I'm giving him a shot at third base today, even though he's a 5 E65. I mean, you got to play it there eventually. I mean, I can't avoid it all the time. So we're going to play it here, 5 E65. And I'm sure when the game gets later on, if they're in the lead, they'll make a defensive substitution. But I need another. They have another DH, Dan Vogelbach, that I want to get some at bats. So Vogelbach can only DH. And so he will be the designated hitter, a lefty. Runs 1 to 8. George Springer, I'm dropping him all the way down to 6 because he has been struggling. Hopefully dropping him down will take the pressure off and let him relax and get his swing back. Addison Barger is in left field, and he is a 4 -2 E6 with a 13. Bo Bichette drops down to number 8 at shortstop. He's a 4 E14. We're almost done, folks. Almost done. And last but not least is Danny Jansen. He is the catcher. Got a T rating of 8. He's a 2 +2 E4. And he runs at an 11. And Jansen being a +2, Berrios a -1 makes him a +1 on the whole. So there we go. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. All right, so let me, since everything is kosher on the computer, I'll go ahead and fire that up so I can have the game to score on the computer as I play it. And let me get everything into place over here so we can have more room. Could probably go down a little bit lower so you can see the cards better. Let's see here. I totally moved my stand for the webcam when I did the recording that basic game on my phone because the webcam holder was right in my face and it didn't go well. So now I've got to figure out how to get this thing to turn around here. Whoops, whoa. I want to do that. How to get this thing to line up here. I think that's it right there. Okay. All right, that's what I wanted right there. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, Hopefully I didn't make anybody delusionally sick with all that motion there. Okay, so Chicago comes to the game 1-3, Toronto 2-2. As we look at the previous game of the first game of the series, Toronto won it 7-4 with 6 runs in the 8th inning. They dogged Drew Smiley and Alzolay, nailed the bullpen, and came back and won it 7-4. So that's where we're at right now. And before we also get going, I have one other thing to present. Something I was working on a lot of the afternoon, off and on this afternoon. This is totally a beta version, But I wrote up some rare plays for Strat-O-Matic based on what we get on the defensive chart. So you need one for G1, G2, G3, SI1, SI2, double 2, double 3, triple 3. You need one for F1, F2, F3. You need one for W/G, W/S. Need one for P/F, P/P, and straight old pop out. So I've got some rare plays in here that if a rare play comes up, I'm going to use this instead of the one for Strat-O-Matic, and I'm going to see how it goes. It's in a total beta stage, so it's definitely chance that a lot of these, if some, if not many, will be edited. But in some of the things I try to do here were I put in some home field advantages where certain things happen to visiting players that don't happen to home players. And I also put into here some things that better defensive players will make special plays where normal defensive players won't. And things like little things like that. So we'll see how it turns out. I may tweak it some more. I have no idea. But I was just doing some brainstorming and thought I would give it a go. All right, so Berrios, let me get his numbers on his first start. Berrios is 0-0. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 4 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts, but got a no decision. So his ERA is 1.29 after the 1 start. Real world, he was 16-11 with a 360 earned run average. He had 32 starts, so in this league, he should get roughly 10 starts. Doubtful he gets 11. Probably keep it at 10, most likely. All right. And I'll just, as a teaser, I'll just read one of the ones I came up with. Let me find one that I think is kind of interesting. If I can find it here. Let's see here. What's a good one? Okay, like this one for double 3. The batter doubles, scoring all runners. On the way to second base, batter misses first base. A 1 or 2 rated first baseman notices, appeals to the umpire, and the batter is out. So the batter is going to be out only if the first baseman is a 1 or 2 defensive first baseman. If he's a 3, 4, or 5, he stays on second because the first baseman didn't notice it and there is no appeal. So I kind of wanted to add things like that in there where it's not just automatic, but you have to reach a certain threshold, like it to be a certain defensive rating, or you have to have, get the home field advantage in there. Let me find one for home field advantage real quick. Let's see here. All right, here's one right here. This is P/F. If runners on, visiting catcher allows a pass ball. With no runners on, visiting catcher unfamiliar with foul territory behind home plate loses bearing and ball falls harmlessly foul, batter still at bat. So he's not familiar with the field and the foul territory, and he loses perspective, and it falls in where the home catcher would make the catch. I'm just trying to come up with little things like that to kind of give a little home field advantage, because there's really no home field advantage in Strat-O-Matic other than last at bat. So anyway, that's enough of that. Just thought I'd throw that out there. All right, so Michael Tauchman is hitting .222. He's 2 for 9, no homers and 1 driven in, and we're underway from Toronto. 1-7, and that's a base on balls. That's why I put Tauchman in the leadoff spot, because he gets on base. To quote the movie Moneyball, quote Brad Pitt, who was playing the GM, says, what does he do? He gets on base. So Talkman is on, and he's got a 6 for a chance to steal. Or a chance to get the lead, I should say. And he rolls a 6, so he will get the lead, 17. Berrios, again, is a +1 factor. So 2 for being held to 15, brings it back up to a 16 with that +1. 1 to 16, he will steal second base. And he does. Stolen base for Talkman. So Talkman draws the base on balls and steals the base. That's kind of what you want your leadoff man to do. That is the first stolen base for Talkman on the replay. He stole 7 in the actual 2024 season. So leadoff man not only got on, but he's in scoring position with nobody out for Nico Horner. No, Joe, I'm not waiting on. If I waited for Strat for happiness, I would be a sad. To borrow a term from History Maker Baseball, I would be a sad sack. All right, so here is Nico Horner. He is, to say he's struggling is an understatement. He is hitting .063 in 16 at bats. All right, let's see here. Berrios to Horner, 1-9, and the struggles continue, but at least he moves the runner over. Ground ball, second base C will get the runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. So he at least played fundamentally good baseball there, getting the runner over on the ground ball. Hitting to the right side, that's baseball 101. Get that runner over. And now Bellinger, sac fly, could bring him home, something like that. So the infield for the Blue Jays is going to play in early. They don't want to give up a cheap run. Bellinger is hitting .133 in 15 at bats. No homers or run driven in. 6-8 against Berrios. 1 to 7 is a single. That's an 11, so he lines it to first. And Guerrero snags it for out number 2. And now 1 out away from getting out of this, but he's got to deal with Seiya Suzuki. Suzuki hitting .267, no homers or runs driven in. Good thing for Berrios, he has no walk or no balk or wild pitch to mess him up. 111, and that's a ballpark blast. I didn't mention the home run chances. 1 to 9 for righties. That's an 11. It'll be a deep fly to left. So ballpark singles are 1 to 5, lefties and righties. Home runs 1 to 3, lefties, 1 to 9 righties, but that's an 11. So Suzuki will just get under it, and we will go. Actually, said it was going to right field. It went opposite field, didn't he? Okay. So we'll go to the bottom of the first. Cubs nothing, and the Blue Jays coming to bat, and Jamison Taillon is going to get his second start of the season for the Cubbies. He is 0-1 with a 3.18 earned run average in his 1 start. Went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And leading things off for the Blue Jays will be Cavan Biggio. Hey, Chuck, good to see you. Biggio on the replay hitting a $125. He's 1 out of 8. It's a 4-9. Well, he gets a base hit here off of Taillon. It's a good start for Biggio, and that's why I put him in the leadoff spot. Might be an inkling of good managing here. I don't know. All right, here is Dalton Varsho. Varsho hitting .357. No homers, 4 driven in. 2-4. That's a fly to center, and that's 1 away. 1 down. I wanted to wait until RJL was done, but his games are running too late. I don't want to be up this late playing, so I got to start when I got to start. So, I don't care. Nobody owns the airwaves at a certain time, so everybody's free to stream whenever they want. So I used to concern myself with that. Now I don't care. If I feel like streaming, I'm going to stream. Nobody watches, that's fine. All right, here's Guerrero. He's hitting .200. No homers or run driven in. 2-6, and that's a ground ball first base B, fielder's choice. Going to go 3 to 6. And Guerrero, your new runner at first base. Two down, and that brings up Justin Turner, the third baseman. Turner is hitting a $182. 1 hit and 11 at bats, and let's see here. I'm sorry, 2 hits and 11 at bats. He got no home runs, 1 run driven in. So Turner with 2 outs and Guerrero at first. 3-5, and that's going to be a double 2 stars on a 1-5, or a single 2 stars 6-20. Single 2 stars, and that's going to put runners on the corners with 2 outs, and the Blue Jays have something cooking. For the designated hitter, Dan Vogelbach. Vogelbach will be making, he's 0 for 4. He's had 1 start and he's 0 for 4. 112, and he's going to have the ground ball to second, plus he might be injured. Boy, not a way that Vogelbach wants to start here, to be injured, potentially. But we'll take a look and see if he can stay in the game and shake it off, or whether he's going to be injured. It is, as we go to the injury chart, that's on the super advanced chart along with the rest rolls. Come here to the injury chart. 1-4, he's going to be okay. 5 or 6, he just misses the rest of this game. Actually, 1-13, because I do everything by a third. 1-13, he just misses this game. 14 or higher is going to miss multiple games. That's an 8, so he's going to be out the rest of this game. So Vogelbach will have to leave, and the Blue Jays will need a new designated hitter. So let's see who they want to use as a DH. Looks like they're going to go to they're going to go to Ernie Clement. Clement will take over as the DH due to the Vogelbach injury. So Clement will be the DH in the second inning. So we now have Clement. All right, so Vogelbach didn't stay around long, did he? So we go to the top of the second. No score. So on the computer, I need to make that change as well. Actually, I don't think it'll let me change the DH while the team's in the field. I'll have to do it next at bat. So anyway, here comes Michael Busch, first baseman. He's hitting 154 on the replay. 5-9, and that's an in-home run chance. 1-16. That's a 7. He's got normal power. That's gone. Michael Busch, his second home run of the season. He hit 21 real world in 2024, but he hits home run number 2 right here. Michael Busch gives the Chicago Cubs a 1-0 lead. 5-9. That's an in-home run chance. 1-16. That's a 7. He has normal power, and that is gone. Cubs lead at 1-0, and that'll bring up Dansby Swanson. Swanson hitting 133, not faring too well himself. 4-6 against Berrios. He's going to ground it to third. Turner is there. It's not an X chance, thank goodness, for Toronto, so Turner is able to make the play. 1 away, and that will send up Ian Happ, left fielder. Ian Happ is hitting 143, 2 out of 14, a homer and 3 driven in. 6-4, switch hitter batting left. Ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Bichette. He's a 4E14. 4-13, he should get to that. 4 and a 13 is a G3, so that's good. That's a total of 9, and he's an E14. E14, there's no 9, so Bichette makes the play. 2 down. And here's Jan Gomes. Gomes on the replay is 0 for 4. He's had 1 start, and he's 0 for 4. 4-6, and Berrios gets him to ground to Turner again at third to end the inning. But the home run from Michael Busch gives the Cubs a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the second. And Jamison Taillon will try to keep that lead going. He'll be facing George Springer, Addison Barger, and Bo Bichette for the Blue Jays. Springer hitting a $188. That's why I took him out of the leadoff spot. 1 homer, 2 driven in. Whoa, we got hopping dice, and we got 1 dice that got caught up in the tray. So got to redo that whole thing. All right, 2-9 for Springer. That's a single. Leadoff single for George Springer. See if he can get a lead. Needs a 5 to get that lead. Gets a 6. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here's Addison Barger. Barger is only had 1 at bat all year. He's 0 for 1. He does have a walk, so he has 2 plate appearances, but only 1 at bat. 2-7, and that's a strikeout. That's the first strikeout for Taillon. 1 away for Bo Bichette. I'm thinking tomorrow morning will be another 1987 game in that replay. Not sure which teams I'll do yet on the schedule. I'll find one of the games that looks interesting and put it out there. Bo Bichette on the replay so far in limited duty. 13 at bats. He is hitting .308, a homer and 2 driven in. See Bichette. 4-5. That's a fly ball to right. 2 down. So 2 down, and that will send us to Danny Jansen, the catcher. Jansen just called up because of the other injury to their backup catcher, so he is going to get his first at bat of the season. He will later get traded to Boston, but right now he is with Toronto. 5-10. That's a catcher X. Catcher X is Gomes. He's a 3-E1. 3 and a 10. It should be no problem. Let's double check it. 3 and 10 for a catcher. 3 and a 10 is a P/F. That's a 16, and he is an E1. So there is no 16 there. So we're looking at P/F. P/F. Where are you? There you are up here. All right. We're going to see if he has a pass ball. Looking at the wild pitch rating of the pitcher, he's a 5. So 1 to 5, we got a pass ball. We do not. So it's blocked. So it's going to be a foul out to end the inning. Inning is over. 2 innings are in the books here in Toronto, and it's the Cubs 1 and the Blue Jays nothing. Top of the third we go. Berrios, his fatigue factor is 6, as is Taillon. And Miles Mastrobuoni will lead off for the Blue Jays. For the Cubs. This will be his first at bat of the season. 6'5" lefty, ground ball shortstop X, Bichette, 4E14. And that is an 8, a 4 and an 8. 4 and an 8. 4 and 8's a G3, which is okay. He's the E14, and that's a 9. And that's okay, too. So Bichette makes the play. Mastrobuoni is out of there. 1 away. So 1 away, and we go back to the top of the order. And we will be looking at Michael Tauchman. Hello there, Mr. Clinton Parks. How are you? It was nice hearing you on Beatles stream last night. Haven't heard your voice in a long time. Hello, Craig. Good to see you. All right, Michael Tauchman. He walked and stole second his first time up, but was stranded at third base. 111 against Berrios. It's a pop out to third. That is out number 2. So 2 down for Nico Horner, second baseman. Grounded to second his first time up. 6-6, and that's a pop out to short, and Bichette will handle it, and he is over. So the Cubs still lead it 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Taillon, again, his fatigue is also a 6. He'll be facing top of the order, Cabin Biggio, followed by Varsho and Guerrero. Biggio singled his first time up. 2-12, and that's a ballpark blast. It's only a 1-3. That's a 12. So he's just going to fly to right field. Got up under it too much. 2 down, or 1 away rather. And here's Dalton Varsho. Varsho, the batter. 4-8 against the lefty. That's a single. Varsho gets his first hit. And we'll see if he's looking to run. He needs a 6 to get the lead. And he gets a 9, cannot get the lead. So he will hold for Vladdy Jr. He get into a fielder's choice his first time up. 2-12. That's a hit by pitch plus injury. So it's possible that the Blue Jays will have a second injury in this game, as Guerrero is hit by the pitch, but he's also susceptible to injury. So once again, we bring in our injury chart, which basically means a 1-4, he stays in the game. Anything higher than that, he's going to have to miss some time, but we'll see how much of the time. We get a 5, so he is okay. Oh, I'm sorry, he's going to miss the remainder of the game. He'll be back in the final game of the series, but he's got to come out. And now they've lost Vogelbach, the DH, and now they've lost Guerrero. So they're going to have to find somebody else to play first base. And we'll figure that out, because nobody on the bench can play first base, and we'll probably have to take somebody from another position. Might move Turner to first. I think we're going to move Turner to first base and put somebody else at third, most likely. Put Falefa at third. I think that's what's going to happen. But I'll know for sure at the end of the inning. But right now, Justin Turner, who's playing third base and getting by with that 5.65 rating so far. No X chances his way yet. No, Craig, not at all. Not at all. 5-9, and that is an in-home run chance, 1-7. That's a 6. It's gone. Justin Turner. How about that? Look at that again. A 5-9 is an in-home run chance, 1-7, and that is a 6. There's a line underneath this thing here that tells you it's a 6. The number over here is a 9 with a dot, but this was here. So it's a home run, Justin Turner. And for Justin Turner, well, it helps being retired, too. That gives me plenty of rest, not having to come home from work and do all this. That makes a big difference. Justin Turner, that's his first home run of the season. It's a 3-run home run. So talk about payback for hitting your star Guerrero. Turner backs him up with a 3-run homer. And the Blue Jays take a 3-1 lead. Just like that. Justin Turner comes through. That'll take us to Ernie Clement, who came in as the DH after Vogelbach was injured. So this is his first at bat. He's 0 for 5 on the season. 4-9, not 0 for 5 anymore. 1 for 4 is a double. That's a 9. It'll be a single for Ernie Clement. And so the second time through the order, they're starting to get to Taillon. Clement, he can get a lead with a 4 or a 6. Gets a 6. He's going to go. 18 being held to 16. Plus 1 there is a 17. 1-17. The T rating on Gomes is a 6. That's a 4. There's no error on the throw, but it will be a stolen base for Clement. He steals second after getting the base hit. Puts him in scoring position and also takes the double play out of the equation for George Springer. Taillon to Springer. 3-3, and that's a split chance. 1-13 is a single, but that's a 16, so he's going to line it to short, where Swanson will grab it, 2 down. And then the top of the inning will make the defensive changes for the Blue Jays official. But I'm thinking right now Turner goes to first, and we bring in Falefa to play third, but that could change. I'll have to review the benches. Here's the Addison Barger. 3-8, and he's ground to short to end the inning. But the 3-run home run off the bat of Justin Turner has given the Blue Jays a 3-1 lead as we go to the 4th inning. And now we go to the computer to make these defensive changes due to the injury on Vladimir Guerrero and on Vogelbach. In fact, I think I forgot to do Vogelbach, so I'm going to go back and undo the last couple of plays because I should have had Clement in there instead of Vogelbach hitting. So good thing the undo is on the computer. The computer has the undo screen, which makes it nice. Okay, so now we got the Vogelbach at bat, and we're going to use Ernie Clement. And Clement ended up getting a base hit and stealing second base. And then Springer lined to short, and Barger grounded to short. That gets us up to date. All right, now, first baseman for the Blue Jays. They're going to move Turner to first base. We'll make that official. And we'll have Kiner-Falefa take over at third base, hitting in Vladimir Guerrero's number 3 spot. So this is going to be Kiner-Falefa at third base. Kiner-Falefa. And Turner will move over to first base. Oh, Tabby's making her noises. I had stuff on her perch. Sorry about that, Tabby. Turner's a 4E9. So we can fix him. In fact, got the white out, so I'm good to go now. So I can try not to be as sloppy now. I can just make white out and fix these things. Although it's technically not white out. It's like I said in my Strat-O-Matic Good, Bad, and Ugly video. Strat-O-Matic is a brand, Whiteout's a brand, but there are other companies that make correction fluid, which is the technical name is correction fluid. It's not Whiteout. So, Tabby, what do you want? Here, come here. Come here. Up. There you go. Sit there. Hold on. All right. So, Kiner-Falefa is, in fact, I'll go ahead and make the change here as well, just so it's not confusing. We're going to have Kiner-Falefa playing third base. And Kiner-Falefa, if we look at his defense, where are you, Kiner-Falefa? There you are. Oops. Kiner-Falefa is a 2E5 at third base. So that's pretty good. 2 and an E5 out of 15. Only problem is you gotta wait for the stuff to dry, and that can be a pain. All right, so Turner is now at first base, and I said Turner was a 4E9. So Turner's a 4E9. Kiner-Falefa will bat in the number 3 position. And he's a 2E5. Yep, okay, we're good to go now. Sorry about that. Had to make those changes. That's 2 injuries for the same team in a couple innings here. Just the way it works. Hey, Ernest, good to see you. All right, so Cody Bellinger will lead things off against Berrios here in a 3-1 ball game. And Ernest, since you came in late, and anybody else that came in after I initially got going, I did make a beta version of Strat-O-Matic Rare Plays that I will incorporate in this game if they come up. All right, here is Cody Bellinger. 6'8" against Berrios. So 1-7 is a single. That's a 14. He lines at the first base. And, of course, as my old saying goes, you put a guy in a new fielding position, the ball will find him. You move Turner from third to first, and the ball found him. So there you go. So Bellinger lines out. Here's Suzuki. 3-5, and that's going to be a single. Seiya Suzuki gets a base hit. 1-out single. Suzuki needs a 5 or a 6 to get the lead, and that's a 10, so that's not going to happen. So we go to Michael Busch, who homered his first time up. 5-7, and that's a strikeout for Berrios. And that is his first strikeout of the game. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Dansby Swanson, the shortstop. 6-6, and that's going to be a pop out to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Berrios pitching well again. Got a no decision his first start, but he's pitching pretty much just as well now. And this time his team got him some run support. And it's a 3-1 ball game going to the bottom of the fourth. And just as an example of some of the stuff on the beta, let me find another one here. Let's just see here. Let's see here. I see I got a typo one here, so I got to fix that. Let's see here. Okay, here's one here on G3. Batter grounds out with all runners advancing. With less than 2 outs, first baseman loses count of the outs and tosses the ball in the dugout. Runners get another base. If bases are empty, it's a standard ground out because it would be the 3rd out. Or it wouldn't matter with nobody on base. It wouldn't matter. So anyway, that's just a little snippet of the kind of thing I want to try to add to the rare play. All right, now here is Bo Bichette. 2-7, and that's a single. And like I said, in those rare plays, I'm trying to give a couple of those. I'm trying to give the home team a slight advantage because the home field advantage is not in the game, and I'm also giving better fielders an advantage. All right, see if he can get a jump. He needs a 5. He does not, but that's a 2, so it's possible there's a balk on Taillon. His balk rate's a 4. And that is a 4, so Taillon's going to balk. So Bichette couldn't get the lead, but he forced Taillon into balking. And that'll put him at second base anyway. And here's Danny Jansen. .210 for Jansen. Strikeout plus injuries. This could be the 3rd injury for the Blue Jays in this game. That's why it's a demolition league. Anything can happen, and I don't limit injuries. So strikeout plus injury. And now we got to see, well, obviously Alejandro Kirk, who was supposed to rest this game, but he's not going to get no rest for the weary because if Jansen gets hurt, they're going to have to bring in Alejandro Kirk. So again, 1-4, and that's a 6. He's going to have to miss this game. He can come back the next game, but he's got to miss this game. So we're going to bring in Alejandro Kirk. So we'll write in the numbers for Kirk now, as Kirk will be the new catcher for the Blue Jays. I prefer it if my correction tape was working better. I don't like correction fluid because it takes so long to dry. But we'll do what we can here. Kirk runs at an 8, so we got to move his run rating too. All right. So Kirk will come in and catch in the 5th inning. Alejandro Kirk. His T rating is a 3. And he is a 2 -2 E9. Running at an 8. So that's the 3rd injury of a Blue Jay player in the first 4 innings of this game. That's why it's a demolition league, folks. All right, so Cabin Biggio. Yeah, I think REM's going to sponsor a concert after the game, maybe. I don't know. All right, so Biggio is up. Taillon, 3-9, and that, boy, strikeout there for out number 2 as Taillon gets the K. And that'll send up Dalton Varsho. That's a 2-11, and he's going to ground to first. And since it's a C, we'll call it a 3-1 ground out to end the inning. And now on the Strat computer, I got to make sure I go in and make these changes at catcher. Removing Danny Jansen and putting in Mr. Kirk. Blue Jays have 2 more players on the bench they can go to, Kiermaier and Schneider, a couple of outfielders. So the bench is dwindling. Here's Berrios. But the good news for Toronto is they still lead at 3-1. And all these injuries are just game only. They're not long-term. So that's a positive, I guess. If you want to put a positive spin on it, put a silver lining on it. Of course, Jerry Garcia said every silver lining has a touch of gray. So there's 4-6 for Berrios, and he's going to ground it to third. And that is the new third baseman, Kiner Falefa. He'll make the play. 1 away. Actually, no, it was supposed to have been Happ, not Swanson. My bad. It was a 4-6, so it should have been left-handed 4-6. And it's a pop out to second. Boy, didn't catch that in time. Forgot to move the player cards. Swanson made it the last out of the last, and the computer was telling me Happ was at bat, so I went to put it in the computer. I said, hey, something's not right. But against the lefty, he pops it up to second. So 1 away as Happ is retired, and that brings up Yan Gomes. So they pop up to second. Two-7 for Gomes, and that's a ground ball second. 2 down. Oops. Here's Miles Mastrobuoni. 5-7, and that's a strikeout for Berrios. Only his second of the game. But Berrios is rolling along with a 3-1 lead. He went 6 innings in his first start, only giving up 1 run. He's looking to do the same thing in this one at least, maybe go 7. Here's Taillon. He'll be facing Kiner Falefa. He'll be making his first appearance since coming in for the injured Vlad Guerrero. Kiner Falefa's 1 for 10 on the season, hitting 100 with 1 run batted in. 6-3, fly ball right field X at Suzuki, 4-7. 4-3, that's going to drop for a base hit, maybe a double. Let's take a look here. Double Die came up with a low number. So a 4 and a 3 is a double. So a leadoff double for Kiner Falefa. He's an E7, and that's a 9. I don't think that's a problem. Nope, not a problem there, but the double is a problem as Kiner Falefa leads off the inning with the double. And that'll send up Justin Turner, who's now playing first base. 1-2, that's a low max to short, so that's going to be a double play. Lines it to short, and the shortstop Swanson grabs it, steps on the bag, 6 unassisted, double play. Talk about 2 quick outs right there. There you go. That will take care of the potential scoring threat. Clears the bases for Ernie Clement. Hello, Canadian. Good to see you. 3-9 for Clement. He's going to ground to short. Swanson took care of all 3 outs that inning. Nothing doing for the Blue Jays, but they still lead at 3-1 after 5. And this will be the fatigue inning for both pitchers coming up. So we'll keep an eye on fatigue. Top of the order for the Cubs, it'll be Tauchman, Horner, and Bellinger. In case you came in late, there's been 3 injuries for the Blue Jays. Vladimir Guerrero, Danny Jansen, and Vogelbach. Dan Vogelbach. These 3 guys all are injured. They got injured during this game, but they're only out for today's game. So, but it's been a rough one for the Blue Jays as far as injuries go, but they do lead it 3-1. Here's Tauchman, 3-7, and that is a fly to center field. Hauled in out there by Varsho. One away. Cubs, if they lose this one, will drop to 1-4. They're getting down to Miami Marlin territory if they're not careful. Here's Nico Horner. 1-7, and that's a fly to center again. So another fly ball to Varsho. 2 down, and that will send up Cody Bellinger. 3-7, and that's a base on balls. And I believe that's the first walk, no, second walk. Berrios walked Tauchman to lead the game off, but that's his second walk. And Bellinger can get a lead with a 5. Has to have a 5 to establish a lead. Gets a 4 instead, so does not establish a lead. Here's Suzuki. 5-9, and that's an in-home run chance. 1-12. That's a 9, and that's gone. Seiya Suzuki has just tied this ball game with a 2-run homer off of Berrios. 5-9 right-handed, 1-12 is a home run. He's got normal power, and that's a 9. Seiya Suzuki hits his first home run of the season. RBIs 1 and 2, and we got a tie ball game. So all runs in this game have come on home runs in some form or fashion. Solo shot, a 2-run homer, and a 3-run homer. Everything's been home run related. We are tied at 3. And now one more base runner, and Berrios will be tired. Here's Bush. 3-6. Fly to center. That's going to end the inning. But the 2-run shot off the bat of Seiya Suzuki has tied this game. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We'll see if Berrios comes back out. He might. Might depend. We'll see what it says. Taillon, this is his fatigue inning. And we got Springer, Barger, and Bichette. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base. X Horner is a 1. We know he's going to get to it. He's an E10. E10 and E10 and a 16. That could be interesting. E10 and a 16 at second base. E10. There's a 16 right there, so that'll be an error on Nico Horner to start the 6th. E4 for Nico Horner. Springer looking now to get the lead, needs a 5. First error of the game on either team. Does not get the lead. Here's Addison Barger. I'll tell you, if anybody could bunt, I'd bunt, but all these cards have deep bunt ratings. So, hello, Action. Good to see you. Barger 3-7. That's a ground ball shortstop B. It's a fielder's choice, 6-4. And the new runner at first will be Barger with 1 out. One away, and that's going to bring up Bo Bichette. Right now, I'm using the Strat-O-Matic computer. I'm using the 23 season cards because I bought the computer season last year, and all I did was take the players, create a new league, calling it 24, imported the players over, put them on the proper teams, and that's what I'm using to score the games. I don't need their stats. I just need to have their name there so I can put them in a lineup, and when I input stats, it'll keep their stats for me. So that's what I'm using. All right, here's Bo Bichette, and if its player's a rookie this year, wasn't there last year, I just create them. You can manually create a player, and that's what I did. 6-9 for Taillon. His injury is 6-12. 6-9, 1-2 is a triple, 3-20 is a single. It's a single, 2 stars for Bichette. That's going to put runners at first and second. And now Taillon is 1 batter away from being fatigued. And here comes the catcher, Alejandro Kirk. His first at bat, he's hitting 125, 1 for 8. No homers and a run driven in. Infield back for the double play as Taillon tries to induce the grounder. 2-4. Ground ball second base A, just what the doctor ordered. And boy, how close did he come to an injury? I wouldn't have had a catcher now. If I'd have rolled a 2-3, I would have had no catcher because he would have been injured also. But instead, we get a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. So we've played 6 here at Rogers Center. And we are tied at 3 apiece. Both starting pitchers on the edge of fatigue. Coming up for the Cubs is Swanson, Happ, and Gomes. If we look at the Blue Jay bullpen, let's see who they've got that, you know what, I think they're going to stick. I think they're going to let Berrios start the inning. We'll see how he does. If he gets in trouble, we'll bring somebody in. But they're going to let him start anyway. But as I go to the Toronto bullpen on the computer, it'll tell me based on usage in the replay who's tired and who's not. Looks like Swanson is definitely, he hasn't pitched at all in the replay according to this. So we are looking at Eric Swanson. Now I'll probably see why I didn't pitch him. He's 2-2 with a 5.03 ERA, but I got to pitch him at some point. So Swanson's in the bullpen just in case Berrios gets into trouble. So it could be Swanson against Swanson had I brought him in now. 1-7, 1's a double. That's a 17th, a fly to center. Just notice that. Had I brought in Swanson to pitch, it would have been Swanson against Swanson. But we didn't want to do that, did we? That would have been too corny. So plus Berrios felt like he had some more energy in him. So 1 away, and that's going to bring up Ian Happ. 1-8 for Happ, and that's a 1-7 single. That's a 1. Double die comes up as a 1 base hit. And now one more base runner, and he will be tired. It's going to be Yan Gomes, but Happ may get a chance to steal. Needs a 5 to get the lead. He does not get the lead, but that's a 2, so it could be a balk on Berrios, but he has no balk rating, so he'll hold. And here's Yan Gomes. 4-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop A, 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, and that will do it for Berrios. They're going to cap him at 7 innings. A quality start for Berrios. He's going to go 7 innings, give up just the 3 runs. They were earned. Just 4 hits. Let's put the double play into the equation here. 6-4-3, pitcher's best friend. So we'll go to the computer and get the rest of the information on Berrios. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So Berrios can win it if the Blue Jays score this inning and hold on and win and never lose the lead, or he can get a no decision. So he's got his choices there. Eric Swanson will be the new pitcher for Toronto in the 8th. He will get his first action of the season. He's a -1 arm to go with Kirk's -2, so that makes him a -3 for the hold. Taillon will come out and face Biggio, Varsho, and kind of Falefa. But with lefties coming up, they might go to the bullpen right now for a lefty. They got 2 lefties coming up. So I think they're going to go to Luke Little, a lefty. So Chicago will make a move to the bullpen. They will bring on Luke Little, a left-hander. So finish the day on Taillon. He's going to go 6 innings. He's going to give up 9 hits and 3 runs. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So Luke Little will be coming on to pitch for the Cubbies. And we'll get the numbers on Little on the replay. probably only 1 or 2 appearances. He had 1 appearance, pitched 1 inning, ERA of 0, giving up 1 hit, but he has walked 3. So that's a little bit of a problem. He pitched 26 innings and walked 18 batters. So the base on balls are something you got to watch out for. But he will give it a go here in this bottom of the 7th. Skipping the 7th inning stretch music or whatever because Tabby's right here and I want to keep her here, and it's getting late and I want to finish up the game. So here's Kevin Biggio, lefty on lefty, 6-5, and that's a strikeout for Luke Little. So Luke Little comes in and strikes out Biggio, 1 down. Here's Varsho, another lefty on lefty, 5-9, and that's a strikeout. So Luke Little coming in doing what he's supposed to be doing, striking guys out, the lefties anyway. Now, if this was old school baseball with right-handers coming up, you could take him out and bring in a right-hander, but you have to face 3 batters. So he's got to face Kiner-Falefa. 2-6, and he does, and gets him to fly out to left field, and that's going to end the inning. So how about that for Luke Little? He's going to go 1 inning and do very well for himself, giving up nothing. So we go to the 8th, and it's still 3-3, our score. And Eric Swanson is your batter, or your new pitcher for the Blue Jays. This will be his first appearance of the replay. And he'll be facing Mastroboni. Well, the scheduled hitters are Mastroboni, Tauchman, and Horner, but we're in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is now, where we're past the 7th inning. So pinch hitting is now allowed, and the players that had to rest are now available. So it looks like they're going to pinch hit for Mastroboni, and they will be using PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. They call him PCA. He will be pinch hitting for Mastroboni. And then they'll need a new third baseman in the bottom of the 8th. All right, so that's it for Mastroboni. He went 0 for 2. Very uneventful. But they will bring in Mr. Pete Crow Armstrong, and they've got Madrigal, Morel, and Cooper can all play third base, so they'll make that call when the time comes. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Here is PCA pinch hitting against Swanson. 5-7, and he's going to draw a base on balls. PCA is 1 for 2 on the replay, hitting .500, all pinch hitting appearances, and now he draws a base on balls to start the top of the 8th of a tie game, and he might be looking to get a lead here. He is going to need a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. That's a 6. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. But he runs at a 17, so he very fast base runner. And back to the top of the order for Michael Tauchman. Tauchman. 6-11. I got to check Swanson for an injury because when you get those high 6 numbers, you could be running into injury problems. So we go to Swanson of Toronto. And he is a 2, which means 6-11, which means he just hit his injury check. So possible injury on Swanson will resolve the play first. 6-11 is a fly ball center field C, which means the runner cannot advance. But now Swanson may be subject to injury. So we go to our injury chances. For a pitcher, 1 through 6, he can stay in the game. Anything else, he's got to come out, and we don't know how long yet. That's an 11, so that means he's going to miss 2 games because it says 6 on here, but I do everything by a third because it's 1/3 of a replay. So Swanson will miss this one plus 2 more games. He's going to be out the rest of the series, so he will miss 2 games. So Swanson, that's one way to avoid facing 3 batters in the 3-batter rule era, is to get injured. So he goes 1/3 of an inning with a walk. but he is responsible for Pete Armstrong on first base. So he does get Tauchman to fly to center. And now I think the Strat-O-Matic computer is going to cause me not to be able to pull him. I think it's set up for this 3-batter rule thing. Might have to go in and adjust that. Yeah, it's not letting me do it. So I'm going to have to fudge it somehow. I will bring in somebody else in cards and dice, and we'll just give that at bat to Swanson. That's the only way I can do it. So let's see who we're going to go to. We're going to go to Genesis Cabrera, a left-hander. He will be coming on. And boy, he's a +9, so that's terrible. +5. So Genesis Cabrera will be pitching to Nico Horner with 1 out and a runner at second. That's a 3-6 left-handed ground ball second base A. That's a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. So Cabrera does that to not allow anything for Swanson. So I'm going to go into the computer manual entry and give these 2 outs credited to Genesis Cabrera, not to Swanson. And I also need to go into the computer probably and fix this so it's not on that 3-batter thing. Oh, it is ID. It's making me do the 3-batter rule. So, but there's nothing in here. There's no direct entry that you can tell the computer the pitcher is injured. So that's the problem. So we go to the Cubs. They need a new third baseman because they pinch it for Mastroboni. And let's see here. They're going to go to Nick Madrigal. And ID, since you are here and RJL are both here, I have in my formerly working hands a beta version of Rare Plays for Strat-O-Matic based on what result is on the X chart. So I was reading off some of those. And I'll find another one here. Let's see here. Here's one here. Onto the triple. Batter hits deep drive to the gap. Outfielder collides with the wall and is injured. The runner attempts for an inside the park home run. Other outfielder is quick to recover and gets the ball to the cutoff man. Batter speed greater than 14 scores. Others are out at home. So that's a rare play that I put in for triples. So like I said, it's in a beta version, but I'm just trying to throw some ideas out there and see what sticks. So, but it's got anything in this case is better than what they've got right now, in my opinion. All right, so we need a new third baseman, and it's going to be Madrigal. He will be coming on to play third base, and we need a new pitcher for the Cubs. And let's see who's coming up. It's going to be Turner, Clement, and Springer, all right-handers. So the Cubs will go to a right-hander out of the bullpen. Let's see. They're going to go to Mark Leiter. It went from Little to Leiter now. We had Little, now we got Leiter. So Mark Leiter, in 2024, he was 2-4 with a 4.21 ERA. He is going to come in and pitch the 8th inning, facing Justin Turner, Ernie Clement, and George Springer of the Blue Jays in a 3-3 tie here in the bottom of the 8th. On the replay, Leiter has pitched 1 inning, didn't give up any runs, gave up 1 hit and a walk, but his ERA is 0. And here's Turner. He hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd for all of Toronto's runs. 4-8, and that's a strikeout. So Leiter comes in and strikes out Turner. One down, and that's going to send up Ernie Clement. Came in as the DH for the injured Vogelbach. 4-7, and that's a strikeout for Leiter. Second one. Back-to-back Ks. We go to the George Springer, the right fielder. 3-3, and that's a split chance. 1-13 is a single. That's a 12, so 2-out single for George Springer. He can get the lead on a 5. Leiter's a +1. Gomes a +1, so he's a +2. So he needs a 5 to get the lead. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here is Addison Barger. 6-6, left-handed, struck him out, so he strikes out the side outside of the single he allowed. And that's going to do it for Leiter. He goes 1 inning, strikes out the side, gives up a hit, nothing else. We go to the 9th. We are still all tied up at 3 apiece. Cabrera will stay in there. He only faced one batter and got a double play ball, so he's going to be in there against Bellinger, Suzuki, and Bush. 2 of 3 are left-handed. So Genesis Cabrera steps up, and he'll be facing Bellinger. Bellinger is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lefty on lefty, 4-9. That's an in-home run chance right off the bat against Cabrera. He's got normal power. It's gone. Cody Bellinger. Home run, Cody Bellinger, his first of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time. Genesis Cabrera, a 4-9 is an in-home run chance. Straight up. No D20 needed. He's got normal power. It's gone. Cody Bellinger, home run, his first of the season, or on the replay, whatever you want to call it. And Cubbies now lead it by the score of 4-3, and their closer now is going to be loosening in the bullpen since they have the lead. And I believe Hector Neris is their closer, but I'll double check it. Yeah, he had 17 saves. So Hector Neris will be coming in for the Cubs in the 9th inning, as he is their closer. Here's Seiya Suzuki, see if they're going to add some more runs. 6-6, and that's a strikeout by Cabrera. 1 away. Dot there, but he's not tired. And that'll bring up Michael Bush, another lefty-on-lefty matchup. 2-8 for Bush, and that's a 1-2 single, but that's a 16, so he lines to second. And again, all the runs have come via home run. Don't know if that epitomizes 2024 baseball or not. I think it probably does. Home runs and strikeouts, right? So here's Dansby Swanson. 2-7, and that's a single for Swanson. Keeps the inning going. And 4 or a 5 will get him the lead. That's a 5. He gets the lead. He's a 19, being held as a 17, but the +5 makes it a 22. So he's going to steal unless we get a 20. And it's 19. Almost got him, but he's in there. Stolen base for Swanson. So Swanson's in scoring position for Ian Happ, the switch hitter, now batting right-handed against the left-hander Cabrera. 2-9, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. And that'll do it for Mr. Cabrera. So Cabrera goes an inning and 2/3. He's going to give up 2 hits and a run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. But now we go to Hector Neris for the Cubs to try to close the deal, as he is their closer, quote-unquote closer. He'll be facing Bichette, Kirk, and Biggio in the bottom of the 9th. Hector Neris, 8-4, 3.89 earned run average, and 17 saves in the 2024 season. Bo Bichette is 2 for 3, actually, in this game. So we need to bring in Mr. Neris, former Philly, I believe. Hector Neris. I seem to remember him with the Phillies a couple of years ago. So Neris on the replay is 0-0. He does have a save. ERA of 0. He's pitched 1 inning, got a save, and he hasn't allowed any hits or walks or anything. So it's pretty much a perfect 1, 2, 3 innings. Looking to do it again. He has a -1 hold, so it's a 0 for stolen base chances. 4-3 Cubs, bottom of the 9th. Cubs trying to take their average to win their record to 2-3 and drop Toronto to 2-3. 3-11 for Bichette against a right-hander is a ground ball to second. That is handled by Nico Horner, 1 away. Not much left on the Blue Jay bench because they had 3 players get injured. So the only guys they got left on the bench that are available to pinch hit, Kevin Kiermaier, and he hit 195 on the season. But they could use him if they need a pinch hitter. But you can't pinch hit for Kirk because there's no other catcher here. So I doubt they're going to use Kiermaier. They'll stick with who they've got. They're going to have to. 1-2, and he's hit by the pitch, is Alejandro Kirk. But you can't pinch run for him either because there's no other catcher, like I said. So he has to be there. And he's going to have to get a big extra base hit to score him, that's for sure. Here's Kevin Biggio. He is 1 for 4. You know what? They're going to pinch hit for Biggio. If they have somebody to play second base, that's the question. Let's see. Do they have anybody to play second base? Yes, they have Davis Schneider could play second base. So they're going to pinch hit with Kevin Kiermaier, the left-hander. He will pinch hit for Kevin Biggio because he's got more power and they need power. And his average is just about the same as Biggio's. So I'm going to give the former Tampa Bay Ray a pinch hitting appearance here in the 9th, Kevin Kiermaier. So we'll see what Kiermaier can do. Check his replay numbers. That leaves Davis Schneider as the only available player. And if it goes extra innings, they will need Schneider to play second base. Kiermaier is hitting 167, 1 for 6 in the replay with 1 run batted in. So Neris pitching to Kiermaier. It's a 4-9, and that's going to be a 1-8 single. That is an 8. So Kiermaier base hit, and that'll put runners at first and second with only 1 out. But again, you got a very slow Kirk who only runs at an 8 on second base. Can't pinch run for him. So here's Dalton Varsho. Neris 4-11, and that's a base on ball. So the bases are loaded, and now Neris is tired. Neris unable to get the save, apparently, because now Kiner-Falefa is up, and then Turner is behind him. Neris is tired, but they're going to stick with him. Hope they avoid the dot. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. 5-3. Fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Happ. He's a 2-E1. 2 and a 16 is probably deep enough to not be a sacrifice fly. Let's see if that's the case. 2 and a 16 is an F3, which means the runners have to hold. That's a 7. He's an E1. That's not a problem. So it's not deep enough to score. And now there's 2 outs with the bases loaded, and up to Justin Turner, who had a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning to start the scoring. He might be looking to cap off the scoring as well. He started the game at 3rd base, went to 1st base when Vlad Guerrero got injured. Neris trying to secure this victory. Pitch to Turner. 6-8, and that's a strikeout to end the ball game. Hector Neris strikes out Justin Turner and holds on for the Cubs. And as the great Harry Carey would say, Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win. And they raise their record to 2-3. Toronto drops to 2-3. Genesis Cabrera drops to 0-1. Mark Leiter gets the win. Hector Neris gets his 2nd save. I'm assuming Leiter is now 1-0. I'm assuming that's his first decision, but we'll double check it. Yep, Leiter is 1-0. Genesis Cabrera drops to 0-1. So there you go. You have it right there. The Blue Jays get beat 4-3 by the Cubs. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Cubs. 3 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for Toronto. Cubs left 3 on base. Toronto left 10 on base. That was their bugaboo. They left 10 runners on base. They left 2 on in the first, 1 on in the second, 1 on in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the eighth, and they left them loaded in the ninth. So 10 left on base was the downfall for the Blue Jays. So they dropped to 2-3. Chicago raises their record to 2-3 to tie Toronto. And game 22 is in the books. Next game in the replay will be game number 23. And that will take us, I can get this, Tabby, what are you doing over there? That will take us to Oakland, where the Minnesota Twins will take on the Oakland A's. That'll be game number 23. Got the lineups pre-done, but I've got to do injury rolls, so it's possible that some of these players may need to come out if they have to be rested. So not injury chances, but rest chances, I should say. So another look at, hey, K-Fan. Another look at another rare play chance. Let's see here. How about this one? On the P/F, if runners on, visiting catcher allows a pass ball. If no runners on, catcher and first baseman nearly collide going after a pop-up. As a result, the ball drops in for a base hit. A 1-rated catcher negotiates the interference and makes the catch. So that's where I'm giving the really good catchers the benefit of the doubt to give it an extra play in. But I'm also incorporating the home runs, because if runners on, a visiting catcher will allow a pass ball before I even check anything else. So just little things like that, trying to add into things. And like I said, this is all beta, so anything is possible. Let's see what else might be on here. All right, how about this one for G2? If run on first, batter hits into a fielder's choice. Other runners hold unless forced. If home team is batting, fielder caught daydreaming about being back home as ball gets by him for a single 1 star. But if it's a 1-rated fielder, he recovers in time to get the batter out. So the visiting players daydreaming about going back to home, and so the ball is hit and it gets by him. But if it's a 1-rated fielder, he has enough reaction to come back and make the play. So just trying, wild stuff like that, just to add a little sauce to the game. And like I said, it's all beta, so didn't hit any wild plays or rare plays in this game to try it out. So won't know until we actually try it out. But you never know until you try it, so to speak. But that's going to do it from here. Toronto falls to Chicago 4-3. Cody Bellinger homer, top of the 9th, wins it off of Genesis Cabrera. So that's going to do it from here. Tomorrow morning, I will probably be playing a 1987 game in the 1987 American League replay. I'm not sure what game I'm going to play yet. Played New York and Seattle the last time. Let's see who is on the schedule that who has the best matchup, I guess is the question. Or might be a fun matchup. We got Baltimore at California, Boston at Minnesota, Cleveland at Detroit, Milwaukee at Kansas City, Texas at Chicago, and Toronto at Oakland. Kind of leaning, some of the pitching matchups are not very good, though. I'm actually leaning to Texas at Chicago. Charlie Huff is on the mound for Texas against Bill Long for the White Sox. Plus, it gives me a chance to play Harold Baines, too. And we all love Harold Baines, right? So that's going to do it for now. Hope you all had a great weekend. Whatever you had planned, hope it went well. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.